Yeah. What up, y'all? It's Gatekeepers. Man, I'm here to review the ALCS. Has been an amazing MLB playoffs. Man, Shohei Ohtani. I know it's been all over social. I know y'all have seen it. Man, dude is the best. Clearly, I think he's the best that ever touched the game. Probably about 3 years in on baseball as far as really paying attention to baseball. Obviously, betting has played a big part in that, but you know, a lot of my friends are very tapped into the game. I've been learning the game. I've had to work MLB when I worked at Turner. So I've dived into it. I love baseball now. It's crazy. It's like, man, it's like, where have I been? Like, this is a great game. Once you really understand the nuances, how situational it is. I'm from St. Louis, so obviously I saw they were Mark McGuire. I was watching those games, but now the regular season is something I'm highly interested in. I'm taking notes on players, delving deep. And like I said, of course, betting is a big part of that. Let's be clear. When money's on the line, you're going to do your research. You're going to learn about the game. You're going to learn about pitchers. Obviously, I already know about some of the greats of the game. But what this dude Shohei is doing, bro, I mean, this is next level stuff. Like, this is, you're striking out all these batters and then going for 3 homers, major homers in a pennant winning game. Like, you know, yeah. So amazing. Anyway, let's move on to the Mariners and the Blue Jays. They got to lose 2 games before they go to the World Series. So, for the Mariners, you got Gilbert on the mound. For the Blue Jays, you got your Savage. It's been an amazing series. I've taken Vlad Guerrero a couple times on some hits. I think the last at bat he went 4 for 4, and he was, leading the charge. The Blue Jays, the bats are starting to heat up. The Mariners, however, have come back into the. I thought they were going to be out of it. They've come back on, you know, just leading the charge. Kyle Riley, Julio Rodriguez, just going on and on. Randy Arozarena. It's just been a great, great series, really to see. One thing I took a notice is when I saw Big Poppy and Jeter and A-Rod on the mound. I'm sorry, on the FS broadcast, they were talking about how the Mariners really only can strike out, walk, or hit home runs. They're really a home run, team. They don't have, they can't really play small ball, basically. Whereas the Blue Jays, they got Bo Bichette, they got Springer, they got Vlad, of course. They can actually get runners on base and then bat them in. They know how to play. They know how to hit home runs. They know how to play small ball. So I was surprised when the Mariners won that last game. So, but it's still a fight to the end. It's going to be amazing. I want to look at the rundown and see. So I'm going to go to my AI tool. That's our winning tool, created by a friend of mine. This is amazing. It's actually a prompt that he wrote for ChatGPT, which takes all the data, compiles it, past matchups, players, at-bats, all the stats, compiles it on the fly like ChatGPT normally does. But this prompt is for sports. So gonna put this in here, man. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Y'all can see the action. I love this. So all I do is, this is amazing. All I gotta do is take a screenshot and say full game analysis, please. And they're gonna run it down. I can ask for props. I can ask for over under. All of those types of things. I'll tell you right off the bat, I'm leaning towards the under on the first 5. I mean, all these games, not all of them, but a lot of them have been tight. Even the Dodgers with their bats, obviously the last game was standing. A lot of the games have been going under. They got aces on the mound. They're fully locked in. The pitchers have been doing relatively well in both, but in the first 5. I mean, so let's break down this AI, man. This is here's an in-depth structure breakdown of Game 6 of the American League Championship Series between the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. Obviously, the Mariners are up 3-2. So this is going to take place tomorrow night. That's why I'm making this stream now. The Mariners lead. Win by Seattle in Game 6 sends them to the World Series. This is the first time they'll ever be in the World Series, so this is huge. Been a big fan of the Mariners, but I've been a big fan of the Blue Jays. They've cashed for me a lot this season. So I don't have a dog in the fight. I just think it's a great matchup. Okay, so the stakes. Obviously, we already know the stakes. Logan Gilbert. Seattle sending Logan Gilbert out for Game 6. His season numbers are a 3.44 ERA with 173 Ks and 31 walks over 131 innings. But a caution flag, he has not fared well historically against Toronto. He has a career 5.24 ERA in 6 appearances versus the Blue Jays. And at the Game 5, AI is saying that Seattle has the momentum. Now, Toronto starter Trey Savage, he's the 22-year-old rookie making his third start of the postseason. He has 6 days rest. We all know that rest is important for pitchers. In his previous outing versus Seattle in the last series, he allowed 4 runs, 4 hits, and 4 walks over 4 innings in Game 2. Not encouraging. The Blue Jays coaching staff trusts his poise and maturity, but experience is lacking given the magnitude of the game. Injury and health notes. Toronto's veteran slugger George Springer took a fastball to the right knee in Game 5. X-rays were negative, and the manager expects Springer to play. Springer's a big bat, so they definitely need him in the lineup. Just as they just said, Springer's a key offensive and a leadership presence for Toronto, so any compromise matters in relative to his health. Okay, so the recent performance and momentum in Game 5, Seattle erupted for a 5-run 8th inning, key by a home run from Kyle Raleigh and a grand slam by Suarez. You know, they got Suarez from the Diamondbacks. Man, that was a huge get. Even when that trade first went down, I remember Suarez being, the Diamondbacks were kind of disappointing, but he was that one bat in their lineup that was making contact and hitting home runs. So, him hitting that grand slam, they always say about moves at the deadline, that seems to have paid off for them. Let's see if it can rear its head in this next game. The momentum's clearly on Seattle's side. They came back from home defeats, showed resilience, and now get a shot to close it out. Now, Toronto, meanwhile, lost a bit of momentum by surrendering that big 8th inning and now facing elimination in a hostile environment. But Toronto they've been one of the best teams all year. I think they're going to rebound. Like I said, I'm not telling you who's going to win. I can't call that. But I don't think they're going to lay down. It's the Blue Jays. Team dynamic and matchups themes. For the Mariners, offensively, they find timely power. Raleigh and Suarez big hits in Game 5 demonstrate the power threat potential. So they will hit home runs, but they're not really good at small ball, like place hitting, hitting to the other side, all of those nuances that I've started to come accustomed to in baseball. It's not just, I used to always think baseball was just about the long ball. No. There's so many nuances to the game. And I have so much more respect for these hitters that are home run hitters, like Vlad. Vlad, as what they say on the broadcast, they said Vlad is a great hitter who can hit home runs, but he's not just a home run hitter. He can place hit. He can, if you got a man on first base, he can hit down that third base line. So, so get some runs or to get some bases. So it's going to be interesting. Now, back to the Mariners. They've improved since the trade deadline and look deeper. That's Suarez, I'm telling you. Physiological edge. Now, they have to break the first. This is a big game for them. I mean, it's a lot of pressure. If they win, they go to the World Series, the first time ever in their existence. Can you imagine how much pressure that is? That hunger may give them an edge or it may make them wither. Gilbert's start is critical and the bullpen must follow. So basically from what they've already said, I think that the Mariners have the edge just with pitching. I wonder why they starting Bro. If he got beat up in that second game. The Toronto Blue Jays offensively, they had big names, Springer, Vlad Guerrero Jr. But when Springer's compromised, it weakens the lineup. They still got Addison Barger. He's good too. They got Bo Bichette. Love Bo Bichette. Bullpen concerns in Game 5. Their decision making in the bullpen, bringing in Brendan Little and then Dominguez cost them big in the 8th inning. Now, home field. They got a strong record at home, 56-29. Gives them a lot of confidence. You know, they'll have all of Canada back there rooting for them. And it's an urgency. They got to win. It's at home. That can really, really lead to pressing errors or overthinking. It can also make them rise to the occasion. So that's a balancing act there. Key storylines and matchup considerations. Okay, you got a young starter versus an experienced lineup. Your Savage is unproven in this exact scenario. The rest of the magnitude amplify risk. Now, Gilbert's history versus the Blue Jays, he's been vulnerable against Toronto historically, so the Jays may try to jump him early. Okay, so maybe that pitching matchup isn't as lopsided as I thought. The bullpen execution, Toronto's bullpen decision in Game 5 is a blemish. If this repeats, Seattle can exploit. Okay, so let's see here. Now let's look to the ballpark and home advantage. Toronto's home crowd and comfort matter. Conversely, Seattle may try to quiet the crowd early. Both teams have shown they can drive runs in this series. Recent trends suggest higher scoring. That's interesting. Based on all the data, they lean Seattle to win Game 6 in advance. And they're looking at Toronto's bullpen and health concerns. But Toronto's home field and desperation factor gives them a puncher's chance. Now, early offense will be important. If Toronto can get on Gilbert early, you can shift the pressure. Seattle must avoid early bullpen exposure. Short staff from Gilbert puts more pressure on relievers. So if Gilbert gets beat up early, they're gonna have to go to their bullpen, and that could prove bad for the Mariners. They must. Okay. We talked about Springer might possibly being limited. I think he's going to play. I mean, if they lose, they go home. Not only is he going to play, but I think he's going to play well. The over total looks plausible, giving both teams offensive spikes in this series. I'm not mad at that because, I mean, even that last game, I was surprised at the Mariners. And then obviously, you know, that grand slam was like, okay. You know what I mean? That was something that was unexpected. I thought they were going to lose that. And I thought Toronto had taken the momentum in the series, but no. So the line total for the game is 7.5 runs. Experts expect scoring to stay elevated in this matchup. And consider props like the first 5 inning total runs, like I just said, or the team to score first, giving momentum swings. I like that first 500, really. Just, you know what I mean? But they could beat him up early, so I don't know. Watch for Springer's game line. If questionable, his performance prop may be of value. Now monitor Gilbert's first inning performance. If he gets up early runs, the turning point may swing. Okay, so risk and what could go wrong. A dominant start by your Savage in an early rally could flip everything. Gilbert could have a bad outing because he has had struggles against Toronto. It's not a lock. And then they're worried about the injury to Springer and how that could affect the game. I didn't see that play, but typically I bet against teams. I faded against teams and stuff like this, and it's never worked out for me. It's like if you have a professional athlete, man, and you're gonna if you lose, you go home. Guys are going all out, like no stops, like shoot me up with the injection or whatever. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure my team advances. Like, so I don't see how that's really gonna be a problem. Ennis's knee, could that affect base running? Sure. I don't think it's gonna affect that hitting. I mean, it is planting, but Springer's such a good hitter, man. Really, he really is. Let me pull up some props.cash and see if we can get some props going here. Oh, my data's backed by props.cash. Man, let me tell you right now, I don't do anything without data, man. Listen, this is sports betting. You easily can lose, but I don't mind losing as long as my bets are backed by data. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even debatable. If I lose a bet and it's backed by data, I'm completely okay with it. This is sports betting. Don't bet money if you can't afford to lose it, right? But if I have all the data, I have my eye test, I'm comfortable, you know, and I know it easily can go left. That's why I'm betting. But that's why I have a unit that, I'm comfortable betting. If I'm betting it, I'm comfortable losing it. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so the primary pick would be the Mariners to win game 6. Secondary pick would be over 7.5 total runs, expecting offensive output from both sides. Watch key players and props: Springer's performance, Guerrero Jr.'s hitting, Raleigh and Suarez power output. I'm telling you, the other day I cashed on Vlad. Blaze cashed on Vlad over 1 hit, I think last game. And I think 2 games before that, I cashed on Vlad over 0.5 RBI. And now, he had a home run. So easy money. Money was in the air, man. I don't think his bat's going to cool off. If you're picking one or two plays, I'd take the Mariners to win, and the over is a 2-leg combination for higher value. If you want to go with that parlay, now they putting it out to you. If you take a parlay, it's on you. You want a single bet? Y'all know I'm not a parlay guy. I'll do a parlay every once in a while, but for the most part, if I do take a parlay, I'm going to hedge that parlay with single bets because I like to stay in the black. Do what you like. Do your own research. Do what you like. Right? Okay. So now I love this. If you like, I can project exact scoring ranges, estimate probabilities, and highlight individual player props. Let's take a look at the player props. Take a look at the player props, and then we're going to compare those with props.cash and see how we feel about them. And this is great because ChatGPT is going to search all the websites, all the data, everything that's out there, compile it, and at least list us for it. This normal type of research that I've done on games, on players, has taken hours. I'm looking at a game. I'm doing all this myself. A lot of this has come from my eye test because then that's when I really feel comfortable knowing I'm seeing the player perform. Man, real quick sidebar. I went to a Braves Brewers game. Shout out to the Brewers. And I got to see Bryce Terang. I got to see Isaac Collins. I got to see Blake Perkins. I got to see Yelich, Churio. Man, them boys was really beaten. And ever since then, I've been taking Brewers. Not all the time, but I've cashed on them too easily because I got a chance to see it in person. So there's that. Okay, so prop number 1, Trey Savage, Toronto starter, over 4.5 strikeouts. Then the line is a negative 145. Why I like it. Savage is a rookie under high pressure, missed third start. In an elimination game, that tends to equal to elevated usage of swing and miss stuff for pitchers. Swing and miss stuff or pitchers trying to force strikeouts. His splitter, used a quarter of the time, has produced a whiff rate north of 55%. Seattle's lineup has shown swing and miss tendencies. That's great info. You understand me? This right here is great information. In his earlier outing versus Seattle this series, he struck out 4 in limited time, showing the ability to rack up Ks even when things aren't perfect. The projected total was 7.5, fairly high, which suggests both teams might be aggressive at the plate, working deeper counts, more swing miss, more opportunities for strikeouts. Okay. Let me before I get into the risks, let's go to props.cash and see what they're saying. Okay. Obviously, we don't want to go batterless pitcher. We want to go. Yes, Savage. Do we have better than? No, sorry. Case. Okay. This is in the last 5 games that he's played, he's gone under this line 40% of the time. So he had 4 strikeouts the last game versus the Mariners. His last game before that was October the 5th. He had 11 Ks against the Yankees. Then the game before that, 5. The game before that, 2. And then he had a big 9K game against Tampa Bay, the Rays. So let me see. Any advanced metrics here? Whip rate. In case y'all don't know, ERA is obviously earned runs average, but that whip rate really is a better indicator of how often batters are making contact with his pitches. So obviously this is that 11K game. Let's just look at this because this the Mariners, that's who he played. The whip was at 1.75, which is excellent. No, it's not. Hold on. How did he get 11.25 as an ERA? He must have got beat up later. He had 5 earned runs. Okay. So basically what that's saying to me is he did end up getting beat up, but his stuff was good when he was striking folks out. They were striking out swinging, weren't making contact, quality of contact, barrels and hard. If you see that down here, that data. If I click off here, you can't see it, but the barrels 1, hard 7. So when they are hitting his pitches, they're hitting them. So as ChatGPT said, he has struggled. He's kind of struggled. Like his stuff was good when he was dealing, but he did end up getting beat up. Got 4 Ks. The line right now is saying 5.5 strikeouts. Let's see what Bovada's my sports book. Let's see what Bovada is gonna say about his strikeout line. Pitcher props. He's Savage walks at 1.5. They're not even gonna list. And that's it's always, to me, that's always kind of an indicator that if they don't have it on here in their books, okay, 4.5. Okay. So that's the line, at least on my sports book. Okay. So that's iffy. I can't say I would take that. So there is some risk. If Savage is efficient and mixing in more soft contact pitchers, he might not face as many batters or go deep enough to reach 4.5 Ks. That's exactly what I would be worried about. If he gets beat up, he's gonna get pulled. He's gonna have a very, very short leash. It's gonna go home. If he don't look like he got it, they'll yank him. Period. If the Blue Jays go to the bullpen early because either starters knocked around or matchups favor a reliever, the prop may not hit, and that's exactly what I was concerned with. Seattle could adjust their approach and put the ball in play early if they feel forced to score, rather than chase strikeouts, reducing his chances. But based on what A-Rod, you got to believe it's A-Rod and Judah, they basically were saying that Seattle they strike out a lot. They strike out, walk, or home run. But they don't have a whole lot of small ball. So take that with a grain of salt. My lean is over 4.5 strikeouts for your Savage. I estimate his chance of hitting this prop is 60 to 65%. I'm not taking it, but I would lean, if you were to take it, I would lean the over just because of hey, look, hold on. Let me just see what that alt line is on 4K. It's negative 400. That's not good. So I'll leave that up to y'all. I'm not taking it. Prop number 2, Julio Rodriguez with anytime homer. Plus 450. I don't know them home run props, boy, they pay out. But it's a home run. You're asking, if I'm going to ask anybody to hit a home run, it's going to be Kyle Rowley or Vlad Guerrero Jr. After that, it's going to be George Springer. That don't mean he ain't going to hit it. That just means these are the home run hitters, right? Like, these are the guys who knock it out the park. And, so there's that. The implied probability is quite low, 18%. Come on, y'all. It's high risk, high reward, baby. High risk, high reward. Probability. Yeah, I can't do that. Now, Vlad Guerrero over at 1.5 total bases. Ooh-wee. The odds are negative 110. Guerrero's been productive in the playoffs and is a key part of Toronto's offense. His role gives him multiple plate appearances in a high scoring series. The expected total to be 7.5 runs, and the Blue Jays at home. He has ample opportunity to get multiple bases. Remember, his last bet went 4 for 4, man. Homers, he almost hit the cycle. He had a homer, a single, a double. He didn't get a triple. So he almost hit the cycle. His profile power plus contact suits the 1.5 total bases line better than many others. He doesn't need a homer, just needs a double and a single or 2 singles. Let me look at that. Let me look at that. Total bases. I love my props like cash, man. I use it for everything, man. Because there's nothing like making the decision when you have data to back that up. Nothing like it. Okay. So the last game he got the 2. Game before he got 5. Game before he got 9, man. You understand? But the 2 games previous to that, he had none. So, I think the data's there. This is a bet I probably would place, especially understanding the magnitude. They lose, they go home. Probably more than anything, I would like this. I would probably still look at that first 5, but those 2 props seem to be the standing out to me the most. Now, what could go wrong for that prop not to hit? If the Seattle starter or the bullpen clogs the middle innings and limits Toronto's big hits, he might only get 1 base. If Toronto's offense stalls early, especially with Springer coming off injury, the opportunities for Guerrero might shrink. I had to learn about this. Man, Shohei is Blaze's wagon, 2+ bases. He's been betting it all year. I didn't know that a walk didn't count as a base. That's wow, right? If you're watching your pitches and your discernment is so good that you earn a walk, that should be a base. But whatever. A walk doesn't count as a base for many books. So if he walks, the prop may miss. I lean over 1.5 total bases for Guerrero. I'd probably assign probability 55 to 60%. It's a moderate value pick. And even as I'm saying that, do I think they're going to walk him because he's been so good? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I can't lie. So those are the 3 props they put out there. I'm not even gonna look at the home run prop because that's home run's like a lottery ticket. Like it's gonna hit, it might not hit, whatever. But if I did put out a home run prop, it'd be Kyle Riley. Core plays, we just listed those. I can't do same game parlays with Bovada, so I can't even look at that. If you like, I can pull 5 to 8 more props. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Why not? And just see what they come up with in case, you may look at something else on your book if you want trying to build a big same game parlay so you can cash out on. Okay. So we went over your Savage. We went over Guerrero over 1.5 total bases. We didn't look at Julio because we know home runs are lottery tickets, right? George Springer over 0.5 runs scored. I don't like that because of his knee injury. I'm not even gonna look at that. Prop number 5, Cal Raleigh, anytime home run. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. The boy switches. He's a monster. I don't typically bet home run props because they are a risk. I've taken Shohei. How about that? I've taken Shohei, Aaron Judge, and I've taken Cal Raleigh. How about that? So I don't really, you know what I mean? You're not really going to get me with a home run prop. I'm a little bit more conservative. Wow. So there's that. So yeah, I mean that's really what ChatGPT, the win it prompt is putting together. Those are the Those are the props. Again, you take all this data with a grain of salt. That's Guerrero over 2+ bases. Your Savage over 4.5 Ks. Springer over .5 runs. Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez both with the anytime homer. So yeah, that's about it. Let me see if we got any deeper props. Let's just see. I normally keep my bets 1 to 2 bets, 1 bet a game. I like to do research and really, really fine tune a pick and trust in that instead of picking a whole lot of picks. That's just my betting style. I don't tell nobody how to bet. If you want to put together 10 leg, boy, rock out, have at it. But that's me. So, okay, we also got a prop set. Julio Rodriguez over .5. I'm sorry, I thought that was .5 runs, a home run. Okay, let's see. Let's see if there's anything new on here. We got Guerrero. Okay, Mariners lineup. I don't think I've ever taken a team total hit. I've never taken that. Are they saying over X total hits for team over 8.5? No, sir. I don't know about that. That don't even look right. Now, I will say the other day I took the Dodgers over 3.5 team total. That cashed easy. I think they won 5-1. That was the day that I was leaning Dodgers Brewers over 7, and they got 6. So that same day, that missed, but the Dodgers team total hit. So Blue Jays over 3.5 runs. I like that. I love that. I just, man, I've been watching the Blue Jays so much this year, and I've cashed out with them so much this year. I just think in a pressure do or die situation, they don't mind playing small ball. They'll bunt, they'll place it, they'll sack fly, whatever they got to do. They'll steal bases. And I'm not saying the Mariners won't, but I just feel like in a do or die situation, especially at home, they're gonna play balls to the wall. Selected pitcher Logan Gilbert to go under the earned runs. Is the earned run 3.5? Let me see. But Gilbert has struggled against Toronto, so just knowing that, I would probably not even look at that. But I do want to see what that under that is, the ER. Let me see. Earned runs 1.5. I think he's gonna have a longer leash because he's one of their aces. He's had trouble against the Blue Jays, but I think he'll have a little bit of a if he gets 2 runs, they'll probably pull him. But if he gets 1 run, they're not gonna pull him unless he's really getting knocked around. That's just my personal feeling on that. So I would probably stay away from ER. During the season, I never really liked that prop. There's just too many things can go wrong, man. If you're taking the under, too many things can go wrong. If you know for sure there's a strong betting lineup on that other side. Like right now, to me, the Blue Jays and the Mariners bats are both kind of hot. So if anything, I would look at the over for both of these pitchers, but I'm staying away from that prop. I can't do it. So yeah, okay, that's pretty much Gilbert under 3.5 run. Where are they seeing 3.5 runs? Okay, let's look again. Oh, pitcher props. They don't even have the earned runs. One prop I love is pitcher walks. Love them. Because in a high stakes situation, it's just you just got too many. Yeah, okay. Now we got something. Yes, sir. We got something. Logan Gilbert to get one walk. Okay. So that mark has, over the last 10 games, it's gone over 80% of the time. In the last 20 games, 90% of the time. In the last five, that's not 100. Why did they? For Detroit, 10-7, he didn't walk anybody. But every other game has had a walk, including on the 13th. At least one walk. He's gonna get a walk. Like I don't. I might have to put something on that. I like that. I like that. So that's it, man. I think pretty much gone over it. What do I feel comfortable with after reading all of this? Okay, let's look at. I like that Logan Gilbert walk. I can't lie. The total bases, you can get hit with that. Hits, home runs, RBI, you can get hit with that. But Vlad is so official. Oh, let me just look at hits. And I'm gonna look at Vlad. Look, they want 1.5. He had one hit last game. That's interesting. Springer, he's going 100. I mean, you can't go 100% in the last 10. So you got 100. He's hit over the line 100% in the last 10. But that's not true. He missed on the 4th and on the 7th. Outside of that, he's had a hit in every game. And over the last 5, he's had one hit in every game. So, okay, here it is. Last 5, 100. Okay, that's how they're doing it. Head to head, 76. Last 5, 100. I wonder how that knee. I need to take a look at that injury and see what I think about what that play was and how bad he's injured. Because that hit over George Springer, that's looking good, man. That's looking real good. And I know he's a great hitter. Okay, so there's that. Man, I really can't call it. I like that Gilbert walk. I haven't seen the injury to Springer, so can't make a judgment call on that. Vlad, they want 2 hits for Vlad. Last game he had 1. Why did they say that? I thought he went 4 for 4. I thought he went 4 for 4. It must have been, okay. That must have been on the 15th. Let me see. Oh, wow. Look at this. They're actually telling you the pitches and the results. And against who, and if they're right-handed or left-handed, the pitchers. Castillo on the right-hand pitcher, he had a ground out on a soft 67 mile per hour. They didn't say fastball. Then he had a single. This is why props like cash, man. It's $20 a month. If you're a sports bettor, I lean on it. It's a trusted resource. Look, they're even telling you where he's placing the ball on the field. Like it's giving you data that you really need to know if you're into data. Some people just bet with the eye test and feel. I know some guys like, I just think he's due. I don't like when people say that. No, he could not be due. Like, unders hit more than overs. It's more likely that something's not going to happen than that it is in the world of sports. So I like data to back up my stuff, man. You know, and then this data will also tell you some unders. Speaking of which, we've gone through everything. Let's look at some unders, man. In case I don't have fantasy scoring both items, so I never look at that. But if I was gonna look at unders, it would probably be total bases, because you gotta to get total bases, okay, and that's why it's only 0.5 for a lot of these really good players. I forgot about Alejandro Kirk. He's nasty. Let me see. Okay, Nathan Luke's. And it's funny, like some of these gents you might not even find on your sports book. I like Varsho. I like Kirk. Let me see. Jimenez has been balling. Yeah, he was balling. Varsho has not been. He's been spotty He's been spotty this series. That might be under there. JP Crawford struggled the last two games. Never. I'm fading. Never. I don't play around with Kyle Riley. Leave them boys alone. Leave those guys alone. So Julio's been balling. Polanco, last two games he struggled, but he could easily rebound. Naylor, man, dudes have been making contact. They want Vlad to get 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He could get it though, so I'm never fading Vlad. Under runs. And some of these guys won't even be on the book. So some of this stuff I can't look at because I already know it's not on the book. They know it's not going to hit. They're not going to play. They're not going to make it available for you to even bet. It's like, let me see. Hits allowed, hits. And as always, damn, these unders are plus money. Some of these unders are plus money, man. But look, even Revis, right? He's negative 137. I was looking at him down here. Let's see what he. Okay, yeah, he's a blank. Yeah, bro. That's something I would look at. There's an under right there. I would look at. He struggled the last three games. Let me see that again. Yeah, man. Revis. You would have to look at it. I think Varshall's gonna hit. And you know these are under 1.5 hits, man. They think Vlad's gonna go under. That's interesting. They really think Springer's going under, probably because of that knee. It must have been bad. And you know, these odds are always, they'll give you an insight to what these bookmakers are thinking, you know. And they're really wrong. Vegas is unmatched. So yeah, man, that's really it. I would look at that Leo Revis under 0.5 hits, and I was surprised they even have it on here on my sports book. Negative 137. That's a great price. So yeah, man, take all that data with a grain of salt, man, because there's no gatekeep. I had to put that information out for y'all. Games at 8 o'clock Sunday night. Whatever you take, bet responsibly. Take all this data with a grain of salt, man. Good luck. It's Gatekeepers, man. Appreciate y'all for checking out this content. Like, comment, subscribe. Yes, sir. Man. Yeah. I think I am going to take that Revis under.